Hey everybody, it's the end of my ride today at 360. I'm back in the van, and I'm having a beer. So it's the end of my ride, but I'm probably going to splice this video in at the beginning of the ride. I don't know if I've ever really kind of gave my background on this stuff. I mean, for the 7 of you that do subscribe and watch the channel, watch the videos, I'm pretty new to this, right? I'm 51 years old. Haven't been mountain. I think this fall will be 2 years that I've owned like a nice mountain bike and actually made efforts to go to the trails and go to the woods and go to bike parks. And just over the last 6-7 months, I've made a commitment to try to go just like 2-3 times a week. Even if it's the same place like here at 360, it's just so close to my house that it makes sense. It's easy to get to. It takes me 10 minutes to get here. There's easily 12-15 miles of trails here, and there's still some that I haven't been on. But yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly good at it. I'm getting better, but I'm getting more fit, which is the goal. And it's just something that if you're an older guy looking to get into this, maybe it's something that, or gal, maybe it's something that you look at and go, like, man, I can do that too. Because I've literally only been riding mountain bikes for 2 years. And initially, the first year, it wasn't like all that often. It was like maybe twice a month I would get out somewhere. But since the beginning of this year, in January, I would say it's been, pretty religiously. I'm getting out there 3 times a week minimum, oftentimes 5 times a week, and then every weekend, as I am able to, trying to get out like on a Thursday night to camp somewhere after work, and then Friday morning go ride my bike at a local riding spot, whatever that is. Oftentimes it's Port Gamble or Swan Creek or Duthie, which are all within easy driving distance from where I live here. So I'll try to find a campsite. Like tonight when I go home, I'll try to find a campsite for Thursday probably, and then I'll go do that. I started out not even riding bikes since I was a kid, probably until I was 39 years old. So and that was just because my kids got into BMX racing when they were 8 and 11, I think, respectively. So we started going to BMX races at an indoor track here in Port Orchard, and I immediately saw people kind of my age doing it. I was like, wow, that'd be a great way to stay in shape. So I started doing it as well. Fast forward like 2-3 years down the road, the previous track operator guy was getting a little older, was going to close the track. So we bought it from him, bought the business from him, and kept the track open and ran it for like another 9 years. But over the last couple years of running the track, I also got more into riding a mountain bike more often than I did the BMX bike. I mean, my kids had gotten older by that point. I think my son had already turned pro, so he couldn't race at local races anymore anyway. He had to wait for like a pro race to go to, or a pro-am. And plus, at their speeds as pros, like our little indoor track just wasn't the best to prevent injury there. It's kind of short, and it's real easy to get injured if you're going too fast. And so yeah, I just kind of migrated over to mountain bikes a little bit more. I still race my BMX bike periodically. And then when we got rid of the track, one of my kids didn't even live here anymore, or doesn't live here anymore. The other one's she's a pro as well, so she can't race locals. And it just didn't excite me anymore as far as BMX racing goes for me. My kids, it's great. I love watching them. They're doing great as pros. But for me, it's like, I don't know. I feel like the injury quotient, the other 51 to 55-year-old dudes who are like way more competitive than I am, and I wasn't slow, but I don't care about winning that much. And there's some people in my class that really do care and will have no hesitation to hurt you. So it's not worth it. So mountain bikes, I can choose to not going to do that trail today. Nope, that looks way too hard. So it's a little bit more my speed at this point in my life. So just a little background. I don't know if you care, but I'll probably trim this down a little bit because it's 5 minutes long. Anyway, if you're a subscriber, thank you. And I hope you enjoy the video today of 360. About a 10-minute ride from my house on Labor Day, Monday. Rained a little earlier today, so dry now again, but figured I'd come down and get some riding in. Never know what could happen, you know. Next thing you know, you can't ride anymore for some reason, so get it while the getting's good. And I'm up here at the end of Family Time, which is a little green trail that I take to get to the top of, I can never remember these. I think it's Beeline and Milk Run or something like that. So I'm gonna run down into the clearing and then up to the jump line for a bit and see what kind of stuff I can get into. Didn't rain much here, okay? Rained a lot in Port Orchard. I think the rebuild of Learning Curve is harder than OG now, and only because the tabletops that they built on Learning Curve are pretty big, and you really have to send them to keep your speed up to get to clear the next jump. And there's like a little double in there. It's not that big of a deal, but on the top side of it, like, you really have to be going fast, and you really have to commit to sending the hell out of the jumps to clear it, to keep your speed, to make the next one. OG, it's almost like you have to slow down so that you don't overjump it down. But they're both great trails, and if you're out at 360, you should definitely hit them both up. Go back and do that one again. Yeah, that was a clean one. Checkle for the win. pressure. And I feel like I could jump these 3 jumps. I don't feel like it. I'm pretty sure I can. This one is just some rollers coming down to it to give you some speed. The second one is also a step down. It's a little longer than this one. And then that third one right there is a hip jump. It's not very long. But, you know, you'll have enough speed. You just jump probably more to the right there, you know. But then, after that, there's 2 massive jumps that I have no business even thinking about doing. And I don't know that I could safely stop myself before that big jump and still maintain the speed that I need to clear these 3 jumps. So I think I'm going to skip it, although I'm getting closer to pulling the trigger. So pretty good on the upper blood pressure today. A couple runs down. I might go do it one more time, to be honest with you. All right, back to the van. You know what, normally after that, coming down blood pressure, I go down to the old parking area at the bottom of this hill, climb up the hill on the power line road, dart across traffic on 302, and then make it back to the van. But I think I'm just gonna go back up the hill here, and we'll go down Instant Larry. Instant Larry. Oh, what was that? I just kicked a rock against a tree. Woo! That's a fun part. That's it, another day at 360. Well, back again at Miss America here. I think we're gonna take off all the pads and stuff and have a beer.